2 of Bachelor Party versus Find Me Alcoholics Anonymous. Um, we are about to get into Champ Select here soon, pick ban. Uh,
What do
hopefully,
you
once
think?
both the teams say they are ready. So,
Do you think anything changes here on either side? You know,
yeah, I think just because um, sides are switched, so there might be a little bit of a different priority on first pick and stuff like that
mm,
on who they want to go for. Um, both teams had strong points for part of the game at different points of the game, so I don't think I would personally like to see a little bit more standard kind of team fight. At least one kind of tank CC guy who
uh-huh.
can start fights. That I think was maybe the biggest issue on the side of Find Me Alcoholics Anonymous last time was they didn't have a way to really start fights other than try to pick people off, and so they were all just kind of moving forward uh, into the other team and moving into the Ezreal poke and the Vel'Koz poke, and because
Right.
they didn't have any other way to start a fight, they didn't have another initiator other than to just walk at them and try to land their abilities. So
I mean, I could see the Echo trying to like flank in and start up a fight, but yeah, at the end of the day, there was too much Ezra poke. You're right. We do see Yasuo being banned away yet again. No one wants to deal with that crap.
yeah, the
Same
Bear
as
Junior
Diana.
special.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll unmute myself. There.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, I would
They
like
did switch
to.
that over to LeBlanc there, but
Which is strange. I mean, if you're gonna ban both, you might as well ban both.
yeah.
Yeah. If they are gonna prioritize Ezreal again, just because he Bear Jr. is like feeling it. Oh nope, never mind. They're just gonna ban it away.
That is something that Cvan has played mid lane.
Hmm.
So he could play it mid. I'm guessing pick.
StarCraft
Um,
also does play at bot lane, so he could
yeah.
just flex it between the two of them. Actually, no,
I don't
between
know.
the three of them.
They
to
did
be
switch it
honest.
back to Diana. Um,
I don't know. Sivir's, I think, a really good pick into Ezreal right now. For the amount of poke you can
Shin
get.
and Evelyn. They do lock in the first pick Israel, so we'll see how they flex that around.
Hmm.
Yep, they could give it to Fudgy Ditters, StarCraft, or Cvan. All three of those
Yeah, I
players
know
are proficient
Cvan
at
has
that
played
champion.
it. I believe he's played it 3 times. So by no means is it
Confined to the
like
bot
a
lane.
weird off pick for him. He'll
Yeah.
definitely pick it.
Rest in peace,
Ziggs
Rooklet.
here coming in.
Rest in peace,
Didn't
Rooklet.
Ziggs just get buffed this last patch?
Couple patches ago.
A couple patches ago. Okay.
Something like
It was
that.
10.2.
Ziggs coming in here for Panic at the Top Hat. Control Mage type like the Vel'Koz.
Could always be a Ziggs bot.
Endless wave clear here in the mid lane
Yep.
for him, so he's just going to be able to chill out and farm away. This time,
Ward coming through.
All right, that's what I like to see. That's what we were missing from initiation and tankiness. So,
Mm-hmm.
Bachelor Party picking that up. That is oh, actually, I was going to say that was their top laner's most picked champion. That would be for the other side. StarCraft has played that 5 times.
Oh, now we see
But
StarCraft.
he is going to counter it with his probably most popular top laner, Yorick, which he's played a couple times and is banned against them all the time. So we'll see if he gets the pick he likes here, even into a strong laner like Ornn. So we'll see if he's able to his talents on that split pushing top laner there.
Then we see the
And the
Nautilus.
Nautilus to round out the first round here for PMAA.
Nautilus still an incredibly huge powerhouse in the bot lane. Very tanky, a lot of CC. Just always a good safe pick, no matter what you're looking for.
OPT Sam, Ben, I do agree with you. I would love to see a Braum pick up as well, but it is what it is, friendo. It is the Nautilus. And then we see the Leona being picked in response to Nautilus, I actually really like that matchup as a Leona. So I think that would be a really good pickup if Tia Boy decides to counter that Nautilus with the Leona. We'll see if they lock it in, and they do lock it in. Oh,
Yep.
it was locked in. What am I saying?
So suddenly now lots and lots of good engage here on the side of Bachelor Party. Horn and Leona, they want to get in your face and stun you, throw you around a little bit. A little bit of a variation from their last team comp. So we'll see if this change up in the team strat is going to pay off for another win for them. As bans come out, second round, another set ban. And the Echo ban here as well. So banning out junglers. Set also can be played jungle. I do believe Lolly Hentai Police has done it once himself. We've
Yes.
seen it in LCS at least once. TSM played that.
And we see
It,
a
so.
Mundo ban. I don't know if I agree with a Mundo ban here, especially looking at what BP already have. I feel like you need a little bit more damage to round out the comp, and I don't think Mundo fits that engage style that VP already shows. So, not sure about the
Yeah,
Mundo ban here. But
looks
it is
like
a
they just wanted to ban another Theatrics champ because he has played a decent amount of Mundo jungle. So, but
feel
I
like
do agree. I don't know if that would fit their team the best.
I feel like if anything, you could have banned something like a Hecarim. That would have been a really good ban, I think. Even an Amumu. But we see the Ash
All right.
being picked up here by
Yep.
PMAA. So that is going to
That
be
is going to be
a mid lane
right.
Ezreal.
Yep. So I do assume that's. Of course, we are going to see StarCraft back in the top lane.
But then we see
So
Lily
everybody back to their
Police.
regular. Zach coming in for Lolly Hentai Police in the jungle. So now we see a lot more CC for both teams. Engage potential from both teams. Um, more backline here for PMAA with the Ash and the
Nice pickup. That is a beautiful choice with the amount of tankiness we're starting to see on PMA. I think it's a great choice in the
So yeah.
jungle. That's probably the best thing he could have picked up. I will still, I think, give the edge in just draft to Find Me Alcoholics Anonymous. I think the combination they have of damage and CC, split potential, engage, everything. I think they have a really well-rounded team comp there.
Yeah, I like. I could say the same for both sides, really. Both teams have it going. They have very good backline. Ziggs and the Misfortune on one side, and the Ezreal Ash on the other. Can do a lot of damage, and they can stay safe behind these front laners. Nautilus and Zach can start fights. They can also peel pretty well. So same thing on the other side. Ornn, Leona, there are not many combinations of champions that are better at starting initiation from long range than Leona ult and Ornn ult. So there's also no Braum this time on the side of the on the side against the Misfortune, so not a chance that that's going to be blocked by anybody. So get down Misfortune ults more potential here to wreak some more damage.
Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see the Zach, gank early and often in order to kind of build his lead in the jungle, because as the game goes on, Trundle will probably be able to kind of just wreak havoc throughout the jungle. So Zach's really going to want to use his early advantage, level 2, level 3 to start building his team up and start snowballing them towards a win.
Yeah, Trundle definitely really Zach cannot fight him 1v1 in the jungle. So I do like the fact that BP has kind of a pushing lane in Misfortune Leona, who can be really aggressive. They have Ziggs who can clear the waves really fast. So they can keep priority on the waves and then help assist the Trundle, allow him to move in and invade a little bit on the Zac and fight him around in the jungle, because Zac can't really fight him on So that's definitely going to be something we might watch out for in the early game.
I wanted to unmute myself just to say, please vote for the MVP Game 1. There's only 8 votes. There's currently a tie between Tiboy and Bear Jr. Please vote. Thank you.
All right, so Tiboy actually picking up some votes too, which we did not really mention.
I mean, like I said, I
But
think
he
he was
did do a
doing
good
it
job.
right, but
He
I
had
still would
some
give it
good
to Bear Jr.
moments blocking, some misfortune ults, and he had a couple ultimates that are also really clutch to it, I believe. So be interesting to see how that ends up.
Mhm. All right, so let me see here. Early game, like I said, we're looking for Zach engages. We're looking for just kind of building an early lead, and then on the side of BP, all our balls on that team fight. Can Leona get in there? Can they land a ult combo with the misfortune ult? Probably not going to have a huge, great time early game, but once you hit about 10 to 15 minutes, you start fighting around dragons. You should see them really start to work around their team.
Yeah. I do stand corrected here. Again, we see Fudgy Ditters actually jungling. I kind of back to the bot lane, and it's actually Lolly Hentai Police in the bot lane on Ashe. So we did see StarCraft go back top, which I figured was definitely, his Yorick pick. But I'm really surprised to see Fudgy Ditters jungling again. Just because, especially on the Ashe was locked in, like he's played Ashe, I think 2 or 3 times already. So I know that's a champion he's played. And I just wasn't expecting another swap here. So again, we'll see what happens having a non-traditional AD carry playing for them.
It's well, Loli Hentai Police actually used to be an AD carry main. Except his signature champion is Jin. But Ashe is still relatively an easy AD carry. I think. Comparatively, because I played Ashe when I first started ADC, even though I'm a Twitch main now, but or no, not a Twitch main anymore. Anyways, I'm a Casio bot spammer.
I mean, Ashe
Yeah.
is a simple enough ADC, but you got to be very careful into Leona. If Leona gets in E range and you can't dodge it, you are most likely going to die.
I
Like
mean,
you do see that
you
she took cleanse,
yeah, she took cleanse.
Especially with the misfortune, who can just dish out so much damage, really.
right? And not that I don't trust Loy Hentai Police's abilities, I do hope that he knows to wait for that cleanse after Leona Q, not on the Leona E. Well, he will find himself stunned right back up and in the same predicament. And that's another thing too. Like you have cleanse, and if Leona E's on you, especially after level 6, you are still screwed because the Q comes right after, ult comes right after that. There's not much escaping what Leona has in store.
Yeah. The one thing I would say is, I guess, Nautilus is running. He's running exhaust, and Nautilus does have the ultimate. So if Leona goes in and catches out Ashe, Nautilus can just pop his ultimate on Misfortune to stun her and delay her from dealing damage, and that might be enough for Ashe to walk out.
You are looking at a very passive bot lane on the side of PMAA versus a very active and aggressive bot lane for BP.
Yeah.
Cleanse and exhaust, they have no kill pressure, no kill potential. They're just going to sit there, farm, and try to be useful once they hit level 6, and try not to feed any kills until that time comes.
Yeah.
Probably try to hope that Cvan can find some kills and York can get an early lead and just split push all game long.
Yep. So looking at runes here, everything with standard, lethal tempo, Ashe, Conqueror this time on
Pausing at
Ezreal.
10.
Yeah, we will pause at 10 this time. Press the attack again on Misfortune, so...
Here, let me know when you're ready.
Alright, I'm at 10.
Cool, let's go. Cool. So, continue what you're saying.
Just typical press the attack again on... Trundle is normal. Having both Aftershock on Rob and Fudgy prime targets for the Subjugate from Theatrics. Once either of them proc their Aftershock, just pop this Subjugate down.
Finally seen an invade
I
coming
do
here
see
from-
an invade here. They're gonna be spotted out, so no one's gonna get in trouble with dying. Lolly Hentai Police.
Alright,
Everybody's spamming their mastery.
You guys can absolutely suck a bushel of penises.
Fudgy Ditters flashed a TSM sign, which gets a few brownie points for me just because I'm all...
Ooh, C-Van, the early lead.
Screw it, Liquid, or screw you, Liquid 2 and 4, huh? Anyway. Back to this.
Yes. Here.
There were no wards placed by PMAA on that invade, so they did not actually get any vision down. They were too busy flashing their mastery. So. Oops. We did see Trundle start on the top side instead. I guess the threat of them being there pushed them away, even though they have the wards down to see that they were still around.
I'm not sure if C-Van's going to be able to keep up with the Ziggs as far as wave clear goes once they hit probably level 3.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Panic the Top Hat looks to just kind of push him in permanently and maybe be able to roam around the map. You know, he's got a lot of kill pressure bot lane.
Right. And the other thing, like, he doesn't have to roam all the way into the...
What's that?
So,
Oh.
being able to be free to kind of walk around and look for that would be nice.
Yeah. Free Panda, that is probably my phone. I apologize. I moved it off of my desk. Alright, so nothing too crazy going on here. I think everything's playing out pretty much as we expected, you know. PMAA. Oh, you do see the ego.
The Zenith Blade does go in onto Lolly Hentai Police, but he just gets pushed away by the Nautilus. Meanwhile, both mid laners flashing, but the auto attack was already in the air. C-Van, and he gets with a sliver of health out after that last turret shot. Very nice 1-for-1 there in the mid lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Satchel Charge actually, C-Van was able to set himself up where he got blasted in toward the Ziggs and got that extra auto off. But Ziggs is able to teleport right back to lane. C-Van will probably follow, I assume.
Yeah, there it is.
EP back in. Oh, Trundle coming in for gank bot lane. Won't find much, is spotted out by a ward.
Yeah. So that does give C-Van an early 3.5-minute tier, so he's
super
super ahead on stacking that up in mid lane. So should be able to get that at least by the 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was really surprised last game at how well Bear Jr. was able to do, like, you know, not rushing tier. As you see Fudgy Ditters setting up for a game.
Having lethal tempo.
Yeah. Panic has no idea.
He's charging the elastic slingshot. He goes in. He doesn't have the
nice Satchel Charge.
Knock-up does not land from Fudgy Ditters, and he's able to Satchel Charge away. So good idea on the gank. Just slightly off. I don't know if he was maybe slightly out of range for the elastic slingshot. Let's see, Clinton Jacobo taking a lot of damage from the York Kittens there. He not able to clear them away with his W, so it's going to be a little bit annoying for him to deal with. They jump on him again. Yeah, Zap has to chug away on his corrupting to stay healthy.
Yeah, no obvious leads in CS anywhere right now. We're all sitting pretty even, pretty easy, but that Ezreal will be popping off sooner rather than later.
Yep.
I assume.
Ooh, Fudgy just goes back in for the slingshot again. Satchel Charge comes down because Steven not quite in. So again, he does get out, even though the knockup was there this time.
Let's say a little miscommunication there. Like Bear Jr. was not ready to follow up on that gank. You know, if he had been arranged to even E and W, Clemson Chocobo going down to little goals here, but
that is an interaction that actually plays out in Ornn's favor. Is he down work?
Oh right. Yeah.
And he just did that and made me remember that could happen. So can't really keep him caged for long because he will automatically just terrain there.
Yeah. Does the Ezreal go? Ezreal still goes AD here mid, right? You're not building AD.
I mean, if he does, they're not going to have much AP. Because Zach and Nautilus are not exactly dishing out a lot of damage. I mean, they can do some, but
which I mean,
it does make it easy for Chocobo and Boy and even Theatrix to stack some more.
Yeah, we already see Ninja Tabby coming out for the Ornn top, and that can actually negate a lot of what Ezreal does. You know, we saw in the last game, because they had no front line, because they had no armor, that Ezreal could just poke them down so easily. But if Leona, Trundle, Ornn get armor stacked here, Ezreal's not going to be able to do any kind of poke. And
so it looks like Fudgy Ditters is positioned to. Lolly Hentai Police did use the Hawk shot, but I guess it did.
They are on Dragon. The Theatrix just got Dragon under their nose.
Meanwhile,
that means they're going to have 4 bots.
He's going to go down. Ziggs Bomb actually coming in doing a lot of damage. The Ignite is sticking down on Rob. He's going to go down. And Boy lives. They're going to re-engage. He does go in and he finds Zach on
a little far.
Flash away
Heal
also.
saves him.
Third shot's not going to kill anybody. Very well played out there on the side of BP.
Yeah, definitely. Sneaking the Dragon. Honestly, I wasn't even aware of it. The auto camera was sticking up bot lane. Oh, anti-police.
They're going to dive on anti-police. He does use the clamp to and he flashes out of the damage. Theatric.
Almost got
barely stays alive thanks to the decompose passive, giving him barely enough health to survive the turret shot. But he does get one kill in return. He killed
Hentai Police.
It's your boy. Fudgy Ditters goes in on lit, Panic at the top hat, pulls him back with the Q.
They have no damage.
Yeah. Not enough damage to kill him, unfortunately, but does a lot of damage. Alright, so we do see a 2 for 2 in kills total. Oh, they interrupted Panic at the top hat. Gets the flash away, but the passive tick down from the W shield on Rob is going to kill him. Very nicely done there. Panic at the top hat does not have his TP yet. It'll be up soon, so he's going to be missing out a lot in the midway.
Yeah, look at this CS difference already being brought up. That's 20 CS up for C-Van right now, and it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah. And he used the flash for that.
Super props to Theatrix. Sneaking the Dragon, and I'm fairly surprised that, you know, I'm fairly surprised that PMAA didn't, like, respond to the fact that, oh, hey, oh, sorry, not PMAA, BP. No, yeah, PMAA didn't respond to the fact that, oh, hey, they just did Dragon. They probably have more people down here. We should back off right now. They kind of continued to fight through and eventually got outnumbered.
Yeah.
You gotta be aware of where the jungler is.
I saw Lolly Hentai Police. Oh, wait, hold on. We have the engage. That is going to be a dead Lolly Hentai. So easy.
Combo. Yep.
Leona's Solar Eclipse out of the bush. Follows it up with the Zenith Blade and the bullet time to finish him off. Meanwhile, Fudgy Ditters uses the knock-up to push Panic at the top hat backwards, but he's still going to be able to walk onto the other side.
What?
Aim forward only to stand still and use the ultimate. He does get the kill, but it's traded back.
That was the riskiest play for, or I think it was no reason. That ult was so not surefire thing to hit. Wow. I'm happy you got that kill, but wow.
If you're gonna use the ultimate on him, why E into the turret to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think he wanted that.
Maybe he just had to, you know, show off his big dick energy there.
Probably.
Send him the message. Meanwhile, Ornn is gonna use the horn here, and he misses it and goes into the cage.
Yeah, I hate to see it.
So, all right, this is officially PMAA LCS when Ornn. Everything is right.
Yeah. The only hentai police and Rob is starting to put some work on that tower. As BP put, you know, a lot heading into mid lane, trying to get pressure on the Herald maybe, but they are gonna be giving up possibly the whole bot tower for that if oh no, not quite. They're still plating on there. Never mind.
Still got 3 points.
They're gonna get half of it.
So
alright, so slight, you know, gold lead, almost non-existent towards the side of PMAA. I was trading up in the bot lane, back and forth.
lots of damage here. Both top laners super low and low on mana, so we'll see if any.
What he did was around the top lane, but decided he had to go back. You know, pick up that jungle item, pick up an extra ward. Not feeling like going in there. C-Van is able to keep up with the
He uses the
push here. He's got blue.
arcane shift forward, but he doesn't land the poke, so that just backs off.
Rob gonna cancel a few autos just to scare him off.
Yeah.
You do have an Ezreal roaming the bot lane that they do pick up with a control ward, a couple control wards in the bot room there.
Meanwhile, he just uses the ultimate. I can't think of its name for some reason.
True Shot Barrage.
True Shot Barrage.
Clear the wave and get out of there. Ult coming down,
Meanwhile,
out, and
possible dive in the bot lane. Fudgy Ditter's going in for a counter gank, but doesn't land the knock up, and he just has to walk out kind of awkward. Nautilus ultimate death charge, knocking the team away to save him. I don't know if he has passive.
we try to cancel the Herald, but
Here from the Frost Arrow coming in on Segura, but there's no real follow-up. Meanwhile, 4 members are now down here as StarCraft TP'd in.
Got the TP, and he is going to TP in.
Chikabo is following with his TP. So boy goes in, but the
Here we go. Here's the Ornn knockup.
in it does knock up Rob, and he flashes forward for the knockup, but the team isn't there. He does get 1 kill. The bullet time comes down and almost finished off Lolly Headlight Police, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, C-Van comes around the side, and Savoy just charges onto him. He's dishing out a lot of damage in return, but he's not going to be able to finish.
I think they can turn this.
Meanwhile,
I think
Panic at the top hat also getting re-engaged and has to stop the charge away. C-Van flashes over the wall. And I think finally that might be over, although Dragon is started up. They do want to contest a couple of really low health bars for both sides.
Very, very low health bars. It looks like they will get this Dragon. Fudgy looking for a steal? A bit afraid of it, but the longer you take, the more it's going to reset, the more damage you're going to take.
Yeah, it did reset a little bit. But...
Oh, here he goes! And
oh my god, he did get it. He goes into the passive for it.
Oh, the
True
Ezreal
Shot Barrage. Very nicely done there. Trading 1 for 1 and getting the dragons.
Nice play. Yeah, I think that was a bit of, you know, not great shot calling on the side of BP. You know, unsure, should we do the dragon? Should we back off? We're kind of low. And when you take so long to do that, Ezreal's able to come up, back up, get his ults off. You know, you got to either commit 100% to something like that or just back off and try again later. And you do pay the ultimate price with Fudgy able to come in and steal it right away.
Wow. So we do see a little bit of chat here. ADC and the jungle, Syracuse.
Syracuse is the name of our where I live. Name of the place where I live. Huh?
Huh.
So I don't know.
Please don't block me.
It is still a gold lead, a very small one, albeit that bachelor party. So
Yeah. Well, I mean that's 1,000 gold swing from just about 5 minutes ago. You know, we did have a slight lead for Alcoholics Anonymous, so a nice little swing there, even though they lost the dragon. Picked up a couple kills.
winning that fight in the bot lane was
Definitely.
good news for them.
Yeah.
So
Now, oh, you see some
the
trading going
Chocobo
on
goes
top.
in. He gets the maiden out.
That's a lot of damage onto the
Uses
orange.
the Orange Horn to knock him up.
He has to
Theatrix
help.
is here to come counter.
Minions! Minions!
And Clumsy
Oh, they're going on
Chocobo
Theatrix.
actually lives. Meanwhile, Theatrix is beating down on StarCraft with the club. He actually chomps them down for the last bit of the secure there. Meanwhile, mid lane, we do see Panic at the top hat did dodge out on the knockup there very well and uses the satchel charge to get himself to safety. So
Yeah, super impressed with Panic at the top hat. You know, he knows how to counter the Zac ganks, gets out of them perfectly every single time. Definitely, you know, playing that smart there.
yeah.
Try to go in
Meanwhile,
one more
he goes in
time.
again and ults him around. Seavan has the flash to try to finish him off, but he doesn't get it. Meanwhile, Fudgy Ditter's flash because he does not have his passive.
Oh, they are
And barely missed out there. Bear Jr. wants to finish it.
Boop.
Oh! Move
Just
speed
a
barely
little
gets
boop.
in position to basic attack him in time before the jump comes through. I think that was definitely a bit of a regression there on the side of
Yeah, just a little
on
bit.
Alcoholics Anonymous. I know you feel good. Sivan's playing well on the Ezreal, but he uses the True Shot Barrage, and I don't think it hits him. He doesn't. And then they both just go in for it anyway, and even try to finish. Misses the skill shots, and is not able to finish it. While Zach does not have his passive either. So.
Rift Herald that's just now spawning. Oh, he is going to hit
Very good
StarCraft
knock
with
here,
that.
from
Keep doing it
Clumsy
from
Chocobo,
Ziggs.
but
And Ash Arrow will
Ash
go
Arrow
wide.
is used also, which goes wide. Panic at the top hat, satchel charging himself to safety again.
I'm actually surprised they're giving
Answer
up this
here.
Rift Herald. I know the Leona is kind of back in base, but with no Ash Arrow,
Yeah, it's still
Rift Herald's going to reset there.
The pillar there from Theatrix kind of moving them around. Oh, the
nice.
hook is going to land on Theatrix. He uses gates of tankiness. Chaos ensues here. Rob finally goes down to the burst from the Leona shield, and they do trade back on the Theatrix from Sivan. That's a 1-for-1. Lots of stuff happening in the corridor there.
Yeah, that was a bad fight from both teams, honestly. I mean, you're stuck in the corridor, and neither ADC could get in and really do anything. Sivan couldn't get in. Like, I thought that was actually going to go heavily in the favor of PMAA, but I was really surprised that they didn't pick up more than they did.
Meanwhile, another engage coming in from Fudgy Ditters. The counter engage from the Ornhorns going in. Maybe get, but one is already dead. They did finally trade back on the C-Van for a 1-for-1. Clumsy Chocobo flashes from the Elastic Slingshot, and he's going to have enough damage to finish off Lolly Hentai Police and maybe finish off Zac before he respawns.
Yep.
Yeah. Triple kill from the Orn here. Very nicely done from Clumsy Chocobo.
Oh, Rob wants it. Rob wants it, but he doesn't have his ultimate.
Doesn't have
think
enough
he's gonna be
damage to
able
kill the Orn by himself.
I don't know, if he had his ultimate, I could see him making that happen with Aftershock and W, but yeah, without it, I just think he needs to walk away from this dragon. He does not need to be here.
Yeah.
He does not need to get the gold.
Here.
But I think he's going to go for it.
They do opt to just trade that for a turret.
Oh, Ash Arrow.
Rob's coming for the hook.
Oh,
Oh, he doesn't need it. The
What?
global ults from both marksmen across the map. Very nicely done there.
A little boop and a
shutdown,
bop.
actually. He was 5-0 on Orange, so that was a shutdown there going over to C-Van. Very aware of the ability to do that.
How much gold
I
is
do
that?
want to point out Orin's items right now. He's got a Sunfire and Tabbies and working on what looks like Thorn Mail. So he's gonna
Yeah,
be one
he's
beefy
gonna be really
tanky
hard to kill.
boy.
Meanwhile, Theatrics flashing away from all this damage.
Look at the gold,
Yeah.
by the way, guys. So there's a pretty big gold
You do see the teleport coming out of Clumsy Chocobo to save the does. So we'll see. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping
Only
it alive to keep its even to
one thing I've seen a couple times in this game that I really don't enjoy, especially in a a 5v5 team game when you're on comms, having someone run in, and we saw Theatrics kind of run in, chasing down Nautilus, and realize he had to instantly flash out. You never want to burn a flash that way, just chasing down a support. You got to be a little bit smarter with who you choose to chase down, how you chase him down, save your flash for something a little more sufficient in the future.
Ooh, aggroed the Baron right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
Bear Jr. did aggro the Baron, but it's just without taking much damage.
Sugar and spice. A lot of spice.
All right, so do want to look at some gold here, if we're able to bring up the gold for the stream movie.
Yeah, the team gold is actually pretty similar, but we do see the arrow does land onto Bear Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a
two-shot barrage does a lot of damage on the Bear Jr. He's gonna go, and see, boy is pretty tanky, but he's gonna go down.
Double
I don't know if he
kill
can
to
do that by
Ezreal.
himself. Sivan is doing a lot of work here on the Ezreal. Very nice use of the Ash arrow as well. Whole team coordination to lock down these kills. I'm gonna move into the jungle and look to secure Baron.
Baron,
At least
yeah.
secure the vision. I don't know if they'll start it yet.
I'd start it.
Vision they will.
2 people down. Theatrics is
Yep, they do go ahead and start it up.
but
Theatrics
he
is alive,
a level, so you have to be
but it
very,
is
very
hard
careful.
for him. Hard for him to get in the pit. He doesn't have flash, so he can't just flash over the. So it's going to be really hard for him to get in there.
Yeah, Clumsy Chocobo's got to walk him in, I think.
Getting some damage here onto Rob. They just start the fight instead, maybe.
They're gonna pull him off
He does
there,
kill
and that's
Rob.
important.
He's a tanky guy with a subjugate.
Nice, Arnold.
He's gonna die before they're
Oh
able
my
to
god, the
kill.
tanky Oran boy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, after all of this, some of the people peeled off of the Baron and some people did not. They kept the Baron aggroed, but they weren't able to finish it. Even though Theatrics is dead, that does give complete control over the pit to the other side.
I was just about to compliment. I was just about to compliment PMAA for their really nice team communication for the last 5 minutes. Comboing Ash and Ezreal ults really seemed like they knew what they were doing. And then that happened. That was very poor communication all around that Baron there. It's going to make their job a little bit rough. I hope they can maybe watch some VODs and learn from that in the future, how to not ever have a play like that again.
Yeah, I feel like the Baron was probably a fine call, but Theatrics just was running into them and nobody was doing anything about it. They killed
Yeah, I
this
mean, Rob was
support.
trying to kill him off, and they weren't killing the Baron fast enough. You're
Right.
right.
And if they all would have just said, hey, Trundle is here, he doesn't have flash, let's kill him real fast while he's running into us, and everybody just turned onto him instead, I think that they would have killed him pretty easily. And maybe then they're not able to secure Baron, but at least they get the kill and then they back out.
They're going to collapse on the Theatrics here as well. He's not super tanky.
He's
just
tanky,
has
but he's not
tabbies.
tanky enough to survive all this damage coming out of Sivan and the Maiden as well. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Sivan just says, I see your bullet
Aggressive.
time and I'm dash into you anyway. He has enough damage to finish him off. Meanwhile, T-Boy flashes over the wall to avoid the W combo of Sivan. I don't think it would have killed him from that health, but it would have been really close. He is doing a lot of damage at this point. He has his 3 items spiked there.
I will say, part of the reason that I think that Baron got secured would be Ornn having 3 items, 3 very tanky items. They couldn't do enough to him. And that may end up baiting them out in the future. Ornn's just going to frontline And especially C-Van might think like, oh, hey, that Ornn's low. I want to go E and try to kill him. And you're going to find that he doesn't die, which can really mess you up if you misjudge the damage that you can put out to him.
Yeah. So we did see PMAA did take the Drake there off of just having control over the zone.
Yeah, we're still in a very even game, 25 minutes in. Goal only 1K in favor of BP. We do see a pretty large gold lead in the top lane, a 1.5 thousand, and a very large gold lead in the jungle actually.
C-Man
a few kids.
Kind of out of position. He's caught out, but he just does so much damage to Bear Jr.
Oh,
he just
nice
rushes
flash
in for him. The flash coming in very nicely done from Bear Jr. I don't know if he didn't expect quite that much damage to come out, but still very nicely done. The team collapsing on him.
Yeah, that's the power of Misfortune, having the instant move speed with the W. She's able to dodge, a Q. She's able to flash away and just kind of run away from the Ezreal, because one more auto would have absolutely done it. So, a great use of the champion there.
Yeah. That was a nice, I believe, 500 gold shutdown there for.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So StarCraft does not win these anymore, even with Conqueror. I think Chocobo should have, as long as
I think he might win with the Maiden out there, but who needs the Maiden when you have an Ashe on your face and Fudgy Ditter's jumping in on him?
And then when Leona old Ashe wins it.
It's to boy. Meanwhile,
Ult from Bear Jr.
gets flashed on. Bear Jr. does finish off the kill. Bear Jr. goes into. But all he had that place flashes over the wall to secure the kill right after he comes out of Zanya's. And C-Van uses a two-shot barrage for some poke, but I don't think it hit anybody. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Theatrix just says...
Trundle destroying this tower.
Yeah.
I think he should back off. Don't take off more than you can chew. Go grab a free red buff from the jungle. Reset, spend some of that gold. But, pretty nice split push coming in there. I think that's where PMAA is kind of struggling. They want to split push with the York, but the York cannot handle the Ornn at this point. Ornn's getting too tanky. The fights are lasting too long, and the moment the team is able to come up and collapse on him, it's over.
Yeah. I think he might be able to... That is something we haven't talked about with the Trundle pickup in the jungle. Obviously, it's nice. Tanks. But also with an Ornn top who is, more wanting to group usually with the team. Having a jungler who can pick up some side lane split pushing just gives even more options for the team when they see it open. So.
Yeah. I mean, they're putting a lot of gold in this Trundle. He has second most farm on the team as a jungler. He's built quite a bit of, just having the Triforce is plenty of damage for him. And so he's kind of going to be in the front line, really just tearing down the tanks from the side of PMAA. Getting that Nautilus who just wants to be kind of a meat shield. Once you can get through him, you have access to the whole back line.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at the gold numbers, and he's actually behind.
Oh, yeah, he's
Theatrix. So he's basically even with the AD carry on total.
Oh, good dodge from StarCraft. We might have this now.
This time he does have the Maiden out there, so they're and healing. So see, that's what I was saying. Thanks to a very smart pickup there, he has Executioner's Calling, which will lower some of that healing. Well, I guess it's stuff. Meanwhile, they're just going to go ahead and jump on the Baron, knowing that all of BP was back in base.
Ashe arrow.
Very nice job communicating with the team to turn off and kill Panic on the top hat, and they kept aggro on the Baron. So they're going to keep going. Rob goes in and misses the dredge line. He's going to die for it, maybe. Theatrix does finish off that kill. He has to flash out, but he's down too. Bullet Time does a lot of damage. Down goes C-Van, and now Ornn is here too. Beautiful knockup, but the rest of the team is already dead. That's a triple kill actually coming in for StarCraft, and they're gonna push on to the
back
mid
off
lane
and
here,
get
try to
Dragon
kill
here.
Clemson Jacobo.
I don't know if you try to finish this Baron, but they are going to try.
Yeah.
I guess Orin does not
Wait,
have his
here's
ult anymore,
here.
so.
I think Ornn might be able to get in there and kind of push him around because of how tanky he is. Fudgy Ditters is low.
Yeah, he's healing up
There's a
though.
TP coming in from Panic at the top head in the mid lane, who can definitely throw his ult over here as well.
He's gotta get over the wall right now. He's gotta get over the wall right now.
The 6-bomb! Oh my god, he got it! Wow.
Wow. Unfortunately, at a level 13 smite, I'm not sure. Let's see. It's a 760. I saw for just that split second, Baron I think was in the health threshold at about 600 something damage, and the smite just did not come off quick enough.
Yep.
Zig's bomb immediately just doing as much damage as needed.
That very well could have been a turning point for PMAA to start taking over this game.
Yeah. Oh no.
Feels bad. Freddy Ditters goes in for the steal. He doesn't get it. Passive. That's an easy pickup there. Patrick's securing that kill.
I feel pretty bad. That I think that was a tilted Fudgy Ditters. You know, upset he wasn't able to smite away the Baron, trying to steal Dragon for his team, but then you just you throw away a kill. You throw away even more map pressure doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. VP is really going to start to turn this. I think we're going to see a really big Baron power play coming in all throughout the map.
Yeah, very, very nicely done there. It is still even in kills, and it's even in turrets, and the Baron. So it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, wisely killed the maiden.
A little bit of a wet noodle fight here in the top lane. Not have the maiden. Knockup coming out of Ornn here. StarCraft. Oh, he's not able to quite get away from the slow with the flash falling from Jacobo. Meanwhile, we're gonna go back to the mid lane.
Watch the Trundle in the bot lane.
Hit by the dredge line, but nobody there to follow up the damage, so he's gonna walk back.
They're playing 1-3-1
by himself. He's gonna 1v1 Lolly Hentai. He cleanses it, but it's not gonna be enough. Wow.
Big boy Trundle.
Ash does not have enough to deal with that by himself. He is going to go down here to the smite, secure from Fudgy Ditters. So good job on him re-engaging there. They're going to get this mid inhib, rotate here for bot inhib.
Yeah, they can easily take two. They might just rotate to the top lane after this as well and try to push into that third inhib. Watch that Zac engage. Great satchel charge.
Nice, knocks him right out of the
Might as well finish inhib, guys.
Disconnect here onto Rob. He's going to follow with the Ornn Horn, knock him up in the air. That's another kill for Ornn. 7 kills for Clumsy Jacobo.
That is a lot of damage you're taking there, Ornn.
The Nexus turrets.
Wow, they got it down. Zig's big.
StarCraft is trying to push him off. There is some really low health bars now. The maiden doing a lot. Baron Jr. flashes barely to the side.
I feel
and
like
he still gets hit by the width there. Yeah.
He got auto-pathed because he flashed into the rock and it auto-pathed him back towards the right. That is a feels bad, man. All right, so
meanwhile,
alrighty then.
Finding Leona backing in a bad spot. That's another kill for York. He's actually unstoppable now. And so I want to say he has a Dirk and he has a Vamp Scepter. That what builds into that new lethality lifesteal item. That gives him attack speed if he's 1v1, right? I believe that's what that builds into. He gets a lot of attack speed.
As long
and he gets lifesteal, so looking like he's gonna build that item hopefully to give him better chance against the Ornn on the sideline. That could be interesting. Meanwhile, we do see the Ornn Horn coming out. The Ram is going to knock up the. Then we get pillared. Theatrix just flashes on her for good measure. Fudgy Ditters also has the flash. It's not going to matter. There's too much damage here. They're all grouped up, pushing down the mid lane.
That should be game right there.
4v3 now. Seavan is alive, and he can dish out a lot.
No, but not enough to this front line. They just gotta hit the Nexus.
He has some good armor pin. Bullet time's going to come down, deal a lot of damage to the StarCraft.
There it is.
Bear Jr. gets one kill. Theatrix picks up the other. Nexus goes down. Very good answer here from... actually, that's not even an answer. That's still BP. Sorry. Securing the 2-0. I forgot which team won first game. Securing the 2-0 here for Bachelor Party. Two very different styles on their team comps in both games, but still doing a good job executing on each side. Clutch moments there, coming in with stuff like the Ziggs stealing the Baron and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think we saw, some pretty bad calls, I think, on both sides throughout the game. Just unsure of what to do and not committing fully to one thing or another. But by the time we got down to the last 5 minutes there, I think that BP did finally just scale, especially with Theatric. They were putting so much gold into him. You saw how much farm he had. Almost most gold in the game. Steven, I think, outdid him just a little bit. But Theatrics kind of just ran it down with Clumsy. They were tanky enough, built the armor, and PMAA couldn't do anything about it.
Also, I just wanted to unmute to say Pog Zig Seal. I actually had to hide my screaming. That's why I had to alt tab to mute the microphone to prevent myself from screaming into the microphone.
Yeah. At that point in the game, I do believe Panic
no
at the Top had upgraded Rabadons from the Ornn, so just so much of a burst there with the ultimate.
Yeah. All right. So looking at MVP, what do you got?
This one not clear cut.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, I thought game one was pretty handily Bear Jr., but that was just me. This game, I think Bear Jr. also had a good game, but Theatrics did a lot of good stuff on the Trundle. Tia Boy had great engages, locking people down. Clumsy Chocobo did a lot of work on Ornn this game. Going up against StarCraft's Ornn, or not Ornn, Yorick. Sorry. Even, once Yorick had his first couple items, Ornn held up very, very well against him in the side lane, didn't let Yorick's split push take over the game, and he also delivered clutch ultimates in the team fights as well.
Now, I totally agree. And originally,
it's really hard, but I think Theatrics gets a lot of credit for this game too. I mean, really, every member on the team did so much when they needed to. Even Ponic at the Top Hat was kind of beat up early by the Fudgy Ditters, kind of a camp in the early game, but delivered late, especially obviously the Baron steal, but then just like dishing out a lot of damage in the fights.
So originally I was going to say Clumsy should get the MVP, and that would have been the case if Panic hadn't had that clutch Baron steal, because that absolutely turned the game into BP's favor. I mean, from that moment on, it was a straight downhill slope, and they ran it straight down PMAA's throats all the way to the end, and it all started with that Baron steal. So I am gonna give it to Panic for this game, just for that clutch Baron steal, and because it wasn't really clear cut for anyone else. I would say Clumsy did an amazing job handling the Yorick all game long. Knew how to trade, knew when to back off, knew when to go back in, played just incredibly well. But MVP, Panic the Top Hat on Ziggs with the clutch Baron steal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pog.
I think looking at the damage charts, he was really close to the MF on his damage there, which is more than I kind of thought. Like watching the fights, you kind of didn't see some of like the bombs hitting, so I didn't quite guess he was going to be that close to the MF on his damage. I don't know. Really, all these members on all these guys make a strong case for it. I personally am going to give it to Klitschko, just for the fact that he was able to hold off the York split push and deliver so much in the team fights at the same time. Because
Right.
it's one thing to be able to group well and get good CC down, but then you can't answer the York split push. So it's like you're good at one thing but not the other. But the fact that he didn't let York take over the game and was actually doing one really good with him 1v1, um, and then still being so clutch in some of those team fights, uh, dealing that much damage. He did more damage than Ash
Mhm.
uh, on just a tank. So um, that's why I would slightly give it to him over the likes of Theatric Top Hat. But again, I think it's funny.
Well, as of now, we have 8 votes in for Game 2 MVP. There were only 10 in Game 1. And right now, Panic at Top Hat is up 6 votes to 2. So it looks like Panic and Top Hat will seal the MVP vote unless something miraculous changes in the next minute here. Bear Jr. did earn MVP accolades for Game 1. And
We could
Clemson
just
Choco did get an extra few votes here, it seems. So we'll give that another minute. And we'll get into post game interviews with the MVPs.
Yep.
And we can call that whenever we need to.
Yeah. Let me give it another 15 seconds.
Another shout out here, real fast, to C-Van. We did talk about in the game, like it was obvious how much damage he was dealing, and again, he topped on Ezreal. Like,
Holy cow, that damage.
I think he was what 12 and he was like 13 and 7. Sorry, ended. So he did have a couple more deaths in the end, but in the loss there for C-Van, just there getting kills early. Obviously, with the help of Fudgy Diggers ganking. His true shot barrages also were always on point, doing a lot of damage. So, just in recognition of somebody doing really, really well, even with their loss.
All right.
All right.
I'm
I
calling
think
it.
we're ready to call it for
Yep.
Panic the Top Hat earning MVP for Game 2. So we're going to hop on down to player of the game and do post game interview.
Yeah, sounds good. I need to move myself down.
Do it.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Just because he's more
Our
skill and
drafts
like,
have been
Oh,
real
hi.
troll. If you noticed.
and I haven't
Hello. By the
Yo.
way, hi.
What up,
We're
Ogie? What up,
invading.
Alex?
Yo.
Hello.
Thanks for casting.
Yeah, dude.
No problemo. Oh, look, there's my former captain of forever ago. Taking Baron. So taking names. I see.
it was the only spicy thing I did in the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah. The one.
He
the
didn't
one
ask
that
for a
won.
gank once.
That's
true.
wait.
I didn't do
Really?
that.
I'm so proud of you. Oh my god.
My lane was the sacrificed lane. I will be fair though that Fudgy Ditters both games was right up my butthole.
Yeah, it was.
Anyways, congratulations on the 2-0.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Questions from the
Hard fought. There was a strong enemy team. We had to play really well to beat them.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. I honestly thought that they had that second game over you until that Baron steal,
Yeah, I was worried.
and from that point on, it was pretty smooth sailing. But I have a question for you.
I
So
screamed.
they, they have a lot of people that can kind of move around between jungle, top lane. They can kind of switch it up. They throw in an Ezreal mid in there. Like, were you guys prepared for the different players moving to different positions and all that kind of stuff going into champ select?
It's more of we want to ban the strongest points we can, or ban, like, if someone's, like, how I think about draft is normally you want to either ban out the weakest link if they have a small pool,
Mhm.
or like ban out the one, like, at least like the one trick champs in first round. so you just don't get many super comfort. And then if they swap around, they swap around, but then they're less likely to be practiced on it if they swap, and it's usually not as strong. Like they're gonna be relevant still. They can swap and play the lane fine, but like it's gonna be they won't have as much practice games with their own team with that, and they won't have many games themselves like on it. So it's like it's we'll take that as it comes in the draft and play it by ear until
Right.
but
So it sounds like
beforehand, yeah.
you're not too worried about it. You know, you're
Yeah.
prepared for it. You're just banding out the shit you know that'll.
Like we knew they
screw you
did
over.
it, but like if we leave Shen up, I'm assuming he's either gonna take Shen jungle or go top with it. But like
Okay.
you can kind of tell by which champs you leave open where they're gonna be going.
Cool.
Like we leave Yorick up, we're probably gonna play Starcraft's gonna be top, you know?
Right.
Most likely. Like they still can switch it up, but we can kind of plan for it in our head that way.
All right. Alex, do you have anything?
Yeah, so I just wanted to note from you and from PMAA, both sides pretty drastically changed up the draft from game 1 to game 2. Game 1, like the only champion that wasn't a damage dealer was Braum, which was on your guys' side, I believe. And there wasn't like any front line or any other, so you were just going ham. Versus game 2, you got the the from you guys you had Ornn, and you had Leona, and you had Trundle, who is a bit beefier. He doesn't have a lot of CC, but again, can get really tanky. So was there like a clear going into game 2, like where you wanted to change it up to do more of a traditional, let's get some front line and some back line, or was it just how it kind of ended up?
There was no overall plan for a team comp going into that game. It was just we kind of knew they were gonna pick Ezreal, or like we assumed they were gonna go Ezreal if we didn't ban it. The plan was to ban it originally, but we just banned the wrong thing. So as soon as we banned LeBlanc, like we banned LeBlanc on accident, we were gonna leave up LeBlanc and play Galio into it. So we had an idea of that, but as soon as we fucked up that, like we just went Diana, banned LeBlanc, Diana. We just did the same bans again instead of because I didn't want to ban LeBlanc, then Ezreal, and then Shen, because then they would just play Diana, and we had less. Like we could play the Galio still into that or something, but I think the plan we had was to run Galio into LeBlanc. So once we banned LeBlanc, our plan kind of went out the door there, and then we just decided to play it by ear there. So Ezreal we knew was going mid, so we just played it Ziggs into it because Cvan's been loving Ezreal mid. He plays it really well, but we figured that Ziggs could match it could out wave clear it and just be a wave clear bot and hold the lane. So turned out that way.
I want to know, Panic, were you surprised that Zach kept ganking you after the first 2 times you were easily able to Sasha charge away, and the next 7 times you did the same exact thing? Like, were you surprised that he kept coming mid? Because I was.
I mean, yes, I was. In a sense, I was surprised because I just was playing kind of well, but at the same time, like it was more of like I was surprised because I was frustrated and wanted it to stop happening. But in reality, like if you look at the team as a whole and you look at the game as a whole, Yorick is pretty much a split push bot, while Ornn is unkillable, and our bot lane is way better than theirs with Bear. So naturally, the best chance that their team has in that situation is to get Cvan to the point of carrying the whole game on his shoulders. And so it makes sense from that point of view, but I was getting out a decent amount of times and hated it. So
yeah, well, you got the revenge later on. You know, stole the Baron.
I was hyper focused and not breathing when I threw that.
Perfect.
What is it like to not be getting ganked all the time in the mid lane?
That's normal. That's really normal. I don't get ganked as often as people like to think I do. I do pop off though when it happens, but ciao ciao.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely suggest you guys, like, you know, pretty sure-handed game 1. Game 2 a little rocky at times. Definitely recommend
Wow.
going and watching the VOD
Also,
on Game 2. Because you guys can clean up
No,
some
we
of the
don't make
calls
mistakes.
also, Funky Sal, as in Tia Boy, was offended by
What were you
Panic in the
saying about?
Cuphead lack of shout out to to Tia Boy and just said bear.
What was your point about game 2? Like what mistakes were we making? Did you see?
Just a couple of calls around like trying to chase down kills.
Yeah.
I noticed
Yep.
like Trundle felt like he was maybe a little more ahead at times than he was, and like the first time I noticed it, he was chasing down Nautilus and then instantly flashed out. I'm like, why'd you just waste that flash? Trying to chase down a Nautilus. And a couple of things around Baron just seemed shaky. A couple of team fights were like both teams were just weirdly positioned and that kind of stuff. But at the end
I
of the
think
day,
yeah, little things are gonna look like shaky like that. As long as we calm the nerves a bit, that stuff calms down.
right?
And
And you
then,
guys,
there was one point where, like, yeah, we kind of like wanted to force fights because we were strong, but like we had to remember our team comp strength was wombo combo. So if that didn't line up in a choke point, like we just had to disengage.
right? Yeah, you guys always came back and like you had the macro down. Like
Yeah.
every time your team reset, you knew exactly where to go.
I think
You knew the
yeah,
call
team
to
fight
make.
positioning and then over chasing is like a thing we could work on. And then like how we approach objectives.
Definitely. Well,
Shout
no,
out
great
to
games. Yeah.
shout out to Funky Sal, subscribe to tier 1. Thank you for the tier 1
Hey,
subscription for
what's
2 months.
up?
His message is carry me harder, bear daddy.
Very nice.
Well, unless there's anything else, really great games, both games. Congratulations again on the 2-0.
Thank you.
And I think unless there's anything else, we will.
Thanks. It feels really nice to win for once.
All right.
Alright, then.
Thanks for watching, everyone. This is your streamer, Super Hoagie.
All right.
Joined
Thanks
by-
everyone for watching again. I'm Packer Diehard.
I'm Freedom Penguin. Have a good night.